Hello and welcome to New Filmmakers Los Angeles in partnership with Movie Maker magazine. My name is Danny DeLillo. We're here at the South Park Center. I'm delighted to be joined with Laurie with her movie, The Price of Freedom. Let's take a look at the clip.
I got nothing.
Nothing over here either.
Fuck. Clear out.
All clear. Clear. Looks like you just missed her.
Cop killing bitch. She get what's coming to her.
Laurie, welcome to the crazy New Filmmakers LA family.
Thank you for having me as part of the family. You can't get rid of me now.
No, that's it. That's what we say, actually. I love that you said that because that's the truth. Laurie, firstly, thank you so much for bringing yourself, but also bringing your magnificent film to us.
Thank you.
It was really a brilliant film, and it's still sticking with me in my heart, and I'm still feeling so much from it. For those that haven't seen your film, tell us a little bit about it.
So the story is about a mother who is in a race against time for political asylum after she's been convicted of a crime that she did not commit.
It's an incredible story, and I fell in love with this mother and daughter, like just from their love for each other, but also they're brilliant actors, and also you just knew the high stakes that were existing in this film, which is a really hard watch, but an existence of what we're seeing today, yesterday, many years ago, and probably in our future. Where did this kind of inspiration come for you, Laurie, in turning this idea into a film?
So in the spirit of Mother's Day, at the core of this story was just a reflection on the relationship between my mother and I, and just looking at all of the sacrifices that she made on my behalf. And when I really started to think about that and the league of women in my life that, you know, were the village that made me, I just wanted to take a moment in a film of this magnitude to celebrate them and the women that are unsung in the civil rights movement era specifically, who really took a lot of personal toll in order for the greater good. Yeah.
Well, you really did that. You did a love letter to your own mom, but to all the moms and the parents and people that fought in the Civil War as well, and the civil rights movement and the unrest. And so thank you so much for sharing that story, because we don't often see it from this perspective. We see a lot of different things. We haven't really seen it, especially with what is at stake and how much there is to lose. And the idea of losing your daughter is just devastating. And I think it was a really fantastic story. I felt in love with the actors, as I said, like they were just so great, and instantaneously you just took us right into the moment of realizing what's at stake. How did you go about bringing your wonderful cast together?
So the way that I got connected with my lead actress, Alicia Pilgrim, was through Maya Giovanni, who is a rising casting director, super talented. Alicia is based out of New York City, and I actually became familiar with her talent as an actress watching the HBO series Random Acts of Flyness. That was a very complex series, kind of otherworldly, out the box, and yet she gave such a grounded performance, and I was like, this is a star in the making. I want to work with her.
You saw it, yeah.
And so we sought her out. She read the script and she responded really positively to it. And then the next thing you know, she was in LA in the trenches with us, doing the work. And she was really such a great collaborator, really down to earth. She played a really instrumental role in creating a safe space as a mother to a young girl and first-time actress, Aisha Kante.
First time.
Yes.
Wow, she's so good.
And Aisha is actually my niece. She's my best friend's sister.
In the family, right? Yeah.
She's in the family, yes. And she's very talented in a lot of regards, very naturally creative, but she was very focused on her role. Like, she took it very seriously and was a great study to Alicia. And so they hit it off right away and built chemistry. And so my directing became very easy in that sense, because they were just very good at like subtlety and
Yeah.
nuance in their performance.
I'm glad you said those two words, subtlety and nuance, because they told so much in each and every moment. Like, you know, you were holding your breath watching them, you know, just because of what the stakes were at as well. I love that you basically saw someone on a TV show and you're like, I want this person for my movie, and they're in the movie. And then of course you're introducing, you know, your niece into this role as well. How special that is. For you as a director, like, what do you, like, working with your actors, like, what is your kind of process? I know they gave you a lot, but like, what is your process as a director working with your actors, and how is this particular film? Because the stakes are really high.
So one thing that's really important for me when working with actors is building trust. And that trust is not something that you can force or manufacture. It comes from just having a level of authenticity, being vulnerable as a director myself to speak to the things that I'm very sure of, the things that I see, but also having an openness to receive their ideas and working together collaboratively to meld something that becomes magical and above and beyond anything that I might have scripted or like had so set in my head. And so I believe that specifically with this cast, there was a lot of trust and also a lot of commitment to seeing this project through. I think everybody was very aware of not only the stakes of the story, but also the tenderness that rested at the core of the story. And, you know, specifically with anytime you take on something that's like political, it kind of makes people tend to be uncomfortable. But when you can drill down to the thing that makes us all human, the thing that we have in common, suddenly a lot of those barriers start to melt away, and then you coalesce into something that is truly magical.
Absolutely, and you really did that. And I think the power of storytelling, because I think, you know, a lot of what people don't seem to sort of understand, they've not been for a certain experience, is seeing the human behind, you know, this particular experience in itself. Like the pain that one could go through, you know, losing their child, you know, to something they haven't even done is astronomical and unbearable. And you really captured this dynamic and how awful and unjust and that this whole situation is. And you're taking it back to, you know, a time in this country's history that was prominent. And I'm glad that you shed a light and a lens on these particular characters. But it's kind of sad because we're also kind of going for it in different communities, the same, like as we're talking right now.
History has a way of repeating itself when we forget. And so we're in a time in society where there's like efforts to erase things, try to shun things that are uncomfortable, but it's in us remembering and also facing the realities of our past that we can build a brighter future. And specifically within this story, although there's a lot of painful elements, the stakes are high, I actually do also see a very important element of hope. For me, one of the greatest revolutionary acts is love. And so there's something revolutionary in the love that we see between mom and daughter in this story. And I think that's something that we can also carry with us today in a world where things seem to be spiraling into chaos, that when we really draw into each other and invest in the ones we love, even where we're not always able to be together, that, you know, that heart tie, that love that bonds us is the thing that carries us through seeming impossible circumstances and brings us to a brighter day.
Oh, Laura, that was like, we need to hear that every day, you know, to remind us. And I'm so glad that you paid, you know, homage and respect to people that, you know, before us that had gone through horrific experiences, and without them we wouldn't be where we are today. And we've got to, as you say, remember and hold memory in space for people who've taken us to where we are today. But may we never forget.
Absolutely.
You know, and it was beautiful what a mother can do to bring for her child, her daughter, to have a better life for her than herself. That's such a selfless act as a mother, I think.
Absolutely.
What, you know, I'm sure there's been a lot of different reactions and experiences and everything else. It was so special to have your film with us on the big screen at NewFilmmakers LA. What has been the reaction been like for you? And is there sort of any part of you that wants, you know, want your audience to sort of take from your film? You know, is there any specifics about that as well?
So big picture, one of the things that I want my audience to be very present to is the idea that freedom really isn't free. Even when we take it for granted, we all have to show up and be first grateful that we have it, but also, treat it with care.
Yeah.
Not ever take it for granted, even to the point where if it's not our freedom that's on the line, but maybe somebody adjacent to us freedom on the line, that we still have empathy, and that when our voice actually has an impact, that we actually do speak out against injustice. But
Absolutely,
then on a more basic level with the story, with this film, my goal was actually fairly simple. I just wanted people to care about my main character. I think that in times where injustice happens and the narratives get shifted, it's really easy for everybody to go off into their corners with their political views and shout down the echo chamber or preach to their own choir. But what I wanted to do in this story specifically is to quiet the noise of what's at stake, while the stakes are still very present, but get down to the core of what makes us human, those relationships, those friend and family bonds that make us all keep going in life and have a sense of purpose in our day-to-day. And interestingly enough, regardless of people's background, the response has been very much the same. I actually was just talking about that today with my mom here on Mother's Day, that people have been really struck by that bond between mom and daughter. And it's something that even if they don't have their mom specifically, they can still relate on some level to a close, loving relationship of that nature and think, what lengths would I go to make sure that the person I love is okay?
Oh, you got a good mom, you too. I love that. I love what we're saying it's a Mother's Day as well, and that's such an important factor. And just to let you know, Laura, you've created a character that people do. You can't you've got no heart if you can't care about your character. Like your character that you gave us, I think is sort of a pinnacle for so many people in that experience. So I'm still thinking of her. So, I well done for shining a light. What is next for you?
So the immediate next step is to go from proof of concept to feature film.
Yes. So could we be sitting back here with the feature? Is that possible?
That is the goal. So
Yes.
we've already put it out there, and
Amazing.
we're going to just set that thing in motion. I already have the feature script written. I've done several drafts of it. I actually had the feature script written before I did the proof of concept.
What? That's
so
great.
so doing the proof of concept, it was really challenging trying to figure out what element of the film to actually put forward. And it was interesting because I decided to take a more quiet section or a quiet section of the story to get to the emotional core of the story. But the feature script actually is more of a thriller, funny enough.
Amazing. Well, listen, we're ready for it, Laurie, wherever you take us next. And honestly, it's really exciting because I can't wait to be able to sit down here and talk with you about your feature film. But thank you so much for bringing this film to us. And
thank you for having me. It's been such an honor. And for any filmmakers that are stewing on an idea and wondering if they should go for it, I'm here to say, go for it. And NewFilmmakers LA will embrace them, full stop.
Thank you. That's so special, and we're very fortunate to have you part of our family now as well. But thank you for everything you've given us thus far, and we're looking forward to seeing the next project. So thank you very much.
Thank you too.